My name is Jennifer Stay, and this is our weekly live event here with Coloring Bliss. So glad you could join us. We are here still celebrating World Watercolor Month and having a great time. Today we are doing water-soluble pencils, and we just spent close to an hour over on Facebook, and we have been comparing all different kinds of brands and talking about what's a good brand to do your first set of color pencils that are water soluble. What's the difference between watercolor pencils, water soluble pencils, Inktense pencils? That's the kind of thing we've been talking about. And I left everybody telling them I was going to show them one more product that I came across. And now we're also going to be doing some actual coloring with these pencils and trying out a few different techniques and having a great time. So I'm glad you can join us. Thank you for coming. Make sure you hit a thumbs up and you are subscribed to our channel so you don't miss content like this. Also, we're doing a book day giveaway here with our channel, with our website, and you can get a book printed at the Coloring Bliss print shop. So follow the link in the video description, go learn all about it. There's only a week left in July, so make sure you go get your entry in so you have a chance to win a book this month. And I want to say happy Pioneer Day. It's July 24th, and here in Utah that means it's Pioneer Day. We celebrate our pioneer heritage here, so happy Pioneer Day to everyone. So we are here. I have swatched some pencils. We're going to call them pencils because I thought they were water-soluble crayons, but they are actually more like a pencil, and these were gifted to me by one of our followers, and they've been sitting in a box in a stash waiting to be put in with the water-soluble crayon video. So I went and I swatched them, and as I was swatching them I realized they were more like pencils, so I'm going to mention them here and talk to you about them just briefly, and we'll activate them and see how they work.
So they're like a woodless
They
pencil?
are like a woodless pencil,
okay.
and they are by Derwent. I don't even know if they're still available. Maybe we should have Steve Google them real quick.
Oh.
They're called Derwent Aqua. And like I said, they were gifted to me by one of our followers. Her name is Jill, and they came in and I was like, oh, what are these? I better try them. And so, yeah, they're more like a pencil than they are a crayon, although I thought they were crayons because they look like crayons. But look how crumbly they are. That's one thing to note. If you decide to get these, look at the crumbs. They just shed. Tons and tons of crumbs come off of them. They're probably the messiest of all the pencils. So, yeah, I don't know if they're that great because of that problem. But let's activate them with water and see if we go, ooh, ah, or not. Can you find any?
You know, they have Aquatone stick. Is that what it's called?
I wonder if that's what they are.
Um,
Whoa, what's that? 750. I wonder if you have to go to their website
this
or...
is like $6.99 for
that's
one.
better. Maybe this is an old thing that's not available anymore.
Woodless stick. Water soluble Kingfisher Blue 38. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm not seeing any
Okay.
sets of them.
Well, yeah, that activated beautifully. You know, Derwent usually hits it out of the park. You could check Dick Blick's website. The red is a little not quite as impressive. Let's see how the green does. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see here. Let's try the blue. One thing I am noticing is the amount that we can activate is very interesting. Like, sometimes the strokes of your pencil are difficult to get rid of when you are activating, and these seem to just wash away really easy. Okay, so that's the Derwent Aquatones. Sounds like they're called color sticks. Steve's still searching to learn about them. If these are just some random old products here. Okay, that's what they look like, all activated. He can't find them.
Yeah.
Maybe they're an old thing. Here they are compared to the Inktense. Definitely not as vibrant as the Inktense. Not as creamy looking as the Prismacolor. So yeah, they're just their own creature.
Interesting.
Yeah, but look how all the crumbs.
Oh yeah, those are messy.
Messy. Yeah, and if you see, that would really mess up your coloring page. So maybe it's okay that they're not easily found. Okay, so that was that one last product I wanted to share with you. These ones right here, this is what they look like. At least that's how I got them. Okay. All right, so we're actually going to do some coloring now that we've had our swatching fun. And let's get into some fun coloring. This is the page that I picked in honor of summer. We've had like 100-degree days around here, and I'm just done with it. I want to go somewhere cool. Where can we go that's cool? Who's got 60-degree weather? I'm coming your way.
I wonder how it is for Jack and Jerry Ann
Yeah.
up in Washington.
I need some 60-degree weather. Okay. Did anybody have a pencil preference that they would like me to play with? Other than the Prismacolors. I think those we've already determined aren't the most stellar of my stash.
So Inktense.
We have Inktense, we have the Winsor Newtons, we have good old Criolla. I've got Graphitints. I don't know if...
Might be good on the bucket.
Oh yeah. And then we've got this brand, which is a Chinese brand right here. I'll show that to you. And I've never swatched all of these. I've swatched a few. This was also gifted to me, this set here. And it's a giant set of 150 colors. Look at that. 150 watercolor pencils. So we could try a few of these if we wanted to crack into like a real...
Yeah, you should try some out.
These were $42, this set. At least
Angels
last time.
one says 68 degrees in North Bend, Oregon. Oh yeah, Jerry says 75 degrees here today.
Oh.
We need to be up in the Pacific Northwest.
Yes, we do. Let's swatch a few of these.
By the way, Yolanda says that the Aquatone are not on the Derwent website, and Curry's Art Stores says they've been discontinued.
Oh, maybe that's a special product that I need to like squirrel away, and someday they'll be worth millions of dollars.
And Adriana recommended maybe try different brands on different elements of the coloring page.
Ah, I like that idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I wanted to show you this weird pencil right here in this set. This is really interesting. So if you're coloring or doing something different, I want you to look up for just a second and look at this pencil. So this pencil is rose violet, but look at the lead. The lead is green. Can you see that, Steve?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that weird? Okay, now watch what it colors off purple though. It's not the only one in this box that does this. So I don't get it. Yeah, it still has this green look. I'll let you look closer too. Okay.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Here's
It's
a
like
red.
this green sheen.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Hmm.
Here's a green. Let's see how these pencils look activated. These are pretty scratchy. Here's a blue. That's a pretty blue. Lots of crumbs coming off.
It's a pretty pencil, but
Okay.
kind of the Faber-Castell look.
Let's see what these ones look like. Oh, put that up there by Rose. Here we go. Here's the purple activated. So I hope everybody here on YouTube had a chance to go watch my video of the Paul Rubens. Green. The colors seem a little patchy, streaky, like
Yeah, that's interesting.
almost like it's not
Blending together.
yeah, like the water isn't, there's something in the binder that's not, like it's going goopy.
Yeah, that's weird.
Look at that. Especially on the purple, you can see how it's gone like goopy. That's disappointing.
Yeah. Well, let's not use those.
Okay. I'll put these away later. Pass them
Well,
down.
I would say just go ahead and let's cycle through some of these that you've wanted to try and use, and just pick an element. And
Okay. Sounds like
I'd be
fun.
happy to see any of it.
Okay, let's start with Crayola. Good old Crayola. We had such good luck with crazy art last week.
Anna
Still-
says, "Oh, the Paul Rubin video made my day yesterday."
Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Oh, I just want to keep recording videos like that because it was so much fun. Okay, I have this little set of 12 watercolor pencils right here. So remember, the trick with watercolor pencils is when you color with pencils, if you want all those strokes to go away, don't push hard, and be very careful and mindful of your strokes, because when you hit it with water, hopefully you'll be able to activate and get rid of the majority of your strokes. But if you can't for some reason, you want to be mindful of it so you don't later go, oh man, I should have been more thoughtful about my strokes and blended a little bit more carefully. So just, don't go crazy and expect the water to heal all of your crazy strokes. Okay, let's just go in and do a pinwheel here with this. Let's do some blues. Hopefully we've got a light in it. We do. We got a light and a dark blue. And yeah, that looks good. I don't know why they gave us a white. Why would they have given us a white? And I think what we're going to do is, instead of all the little details of the stars, because we can come back with glitteriness,
Yes.
we're going to do more of a wash with our washy, watery watercolor here. So I'm going to be careful with my strokes and do a nice easygoing blend here. Go from our dark blue to our light blue.
By the way, Susan says, thanks to the video, the Paul Rubens are now on her wish list.
I think it probably ended up on a lot of people's wish lists. It was so much fun. Okay, so now let's do this pinwheel. Yeah, I want to make it look like it's shaded and shadowed where the pinwheel bends. Like that. Did you play with pinwheels as a kid, Steve?
I have played with pinwheels, yeah.
You remember playing with them?
Yeah.
I remember making them in elementary school and being amazed at how easy they are to make and that they work. Okay. What should we use for the bling? Sparkle Pop?
Oh, yeah, that'd be good. Thank you so much, Jack. He just donated and says, this is for all that you do for us.
Oh, thank you, Jack. Oh, you guys are so nice. That really does help. All right, let's see how Crayola goes. Now, usually when I activate these, and this is true of when I'm activating with a solvent too, like with Gamsol or odorless mineral spirits. That's what Gamsol is. You got to be mindful of how you activate it, because usually the darker the pencil, the stronger the color, and it can overtake your lighter colors. So we got to be a little mindful of that. Okay, it looks pretty just like that.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about water-soluble pencils. You could just leave it like that and be done, or you can take it to the next step and activate now. It's kind of up to you. So it's a really versatile product that you can throw in your bag and take with you, and then it's up to you how many steps or what you want to do with it. Okay, so we're going to use a brush. Oh, we should change brushes. We are still using the Mimik new ones that I purchased last week that we were playing with. So let's change to a more detailed one since we're in a teeny little place and I have one. This is the number 2 round that came in that set. Now remember, I started an Amazon store, and these are in that Amazon store.
I also left the link in the description too.
Okay, good. So if you want to go see these brushes, you can. I'm really enjoying them. So I think what I'm going to do is activate from the light ones and move towards the dark. And then that way, if the dark is so strong, it won't travel and go out and overpower the light color that we have laid down out here. So here we go. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to try moving this just right so you can see it. All right. So we're going for a nice washy blended watercolor look. Now we are on watercolor paper, so that's going to help. Watercolor paper is not like ordinary paper. Watercolor paper is treated. Can anyone tell me the magic word? This is the magic thing that makes watercolor paper different from all other papers. Steve is not allowed to help unless no one knows, and if you guys don't know,
I'm sure that
I have taught you guys this so many times. What is the magic word?
Tika says sizing.
That's right, Tika. Woohoo! Sizing is a treatment that they put on watercolor paper. So typically watercolor paper is a little thicker. Sometimes it's even made of different things like cotton. Sometimes it has different textures depending on whether it's hot press or cold press or how they press it.
Lots of sizings coming in.
You guys are awesome students. So, but some watercolor companies skip the sizing step. But the sizing is a treatment that helps the water float and stay on the top a little bit longer before it soaks down into the fibers of the paper. And that's like a little helpful aid to the artist.
Danny says my set of Mimics just came on Monday.
Awesome! Yeah, I've been really impressed with them. Especially for the price. You go to the store and look at how expensive watercolor brushes are and you're like, oh my goodness. Okay, that's how the Crayollas behaved. I'm gonna let it set and dry. Remember, watercolor does change the way it looks as it dries, so you always want to give it time to dry before you make a decision like I need to add more shading or more layers, or all those decisions that you usually make on a coloring page. You want to let things come to a good drying place first and then make those decisions. So that's what we're going to do, is let that dry. Now I'm really curious if we grab 2 blues. Well, let's just leave that like that, and let's do something to this outer edge with our Crayollas. How about it would be fun to do some gold, so let's do yellow. And I'm going to show you another way to apply the watercolor from these pencils, and that's just using a wet brush. You can either use a water brush like this, one of these, Or you can use, here, let me change the view here. That and then that. No. That and then that. There, I did it. So these are great in your art bag. So if you're on the go and you're using your water-soluble pencils, having one of these handy all full of water is great. Let's see if this one's working. I need to take these all apart and, it's working. Okay, so we'll use it. I need to clean all of mine. They're all having problems lately. So if I was just sitting in a doctor's office or down in front of the TV, this is usually how I will manage my Inktense pencils and stuff. I get my water-soluble brush, my water brush, the tip wet, and then you can just touch onto the tip of your pencil like this and pick up the color that you want, and then you just paint with it. Now the advantage of applying the color like this is that you can avoid all of the strokes that sometimes get left behind when you color first and then activate with a brush. So if you're worried about leaving behind pencil strokes, then this is a great way to use these pencils. So I've got a pencil roll. In fact, Steve, I think it's at your knees with the Inktense pencils in them. Down one more. On the far right. Okay.
Yes.
Yep. So I have this pencil roll that I take with me right here, and I put these pencil rolls in my Amazon shop. They're by Niji and they're really inexpensive, called Niji rolls. And what I like about this pencil roll, look at all the pencils it will hold. So these are all Inktense pencils, and then you can fit a watercolor brush, even a really fat one will fit in this loop right here because it's a double wide loop. So that's how I carry them, and then you can just leave your all your pencils right in the Niji roll, and you don't even have to take them out. So this is perfect for a doctor's office. And then you can just touch the pencil you want just like that and do your work and move from pencil to pencil just like this. Isn't that great? You just go and you can change colors really fast. You don't even have to pull them out. And then when you want to add shading or whatever, then you pull it out and go in and add a little extra detail and then put it back in, and then it works really great for on-the-go coloring. So highly recommend one of these little Niji rolls. So like I said, they're really cheap too. Okay, thank you, Steve, so I could do the show and tell. Alright, see how great that turned out with the yellow in the middle? No strokes or anything. It laid down really nice. Now that it's started to dry, I want to add a little bit of brown to make it look like a little shading that's going on here. Okay. Oh, that's a lot of water. See, lots of water coming through here. Lots of water. Too much water. Yeah, that's better. Sometimes I think these water brushes, they're like all or nothing. Either too much water comes out or they get clogged and no water comes out. Do you guys have the same experience with these water brushes? Okay. There. A little bit more now that I've lifted it all off. Right in here. Okay. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to take my yellow and just blend straight on. Now, if your paper is wet and you come on with the water-soluble brush, kind of does this cool creamy type coloring and will help blend out edges like that. There you go. Woohoo, I like that. And I think this is dry, and we can look at it now and say, I'm going to come in now with my straight dark blue and just add a little shading like that. I wish I had just a little bit more shading. Steve, what's the complementary color to blue? Is it orange? Okay, that's what I thought. I had my hand on it, but I wasn't sure. So I'm going to use orange in here to help that shadow feel a little deeper. Not a lot, because we don't want it to read orange. We just want that orange to...
Adriana asked, you have to be careful about wetting the tip of the pencil. Any concerns about how it dries?
As long as you let it be exposed to the air and let it get good and dry, it should be fine. That Niji roll that I showed you, that's almost primarily how those pencils have been used, is with a wet water brush, and they are just fine. So they get really worn down and they last forever when you use it like that. I can't get over how long these pencils have lasted me, the Derwent Inktense, so it's awesome. Okay, let's bring in some bling and see what's going to work here.
Helene is swatching her Inktense while watching.
Oh,
She's going to use a brush. What size brush do you recommend?
depends on the size of the swatch. If you've got a teeny little square you're swatching into, then you want to use a little brush. So I would match the swatch square with the brush. That's how I usually pick my brushes. So I'm using my Sparkle Pop pen for some of the circles. And let's try this one here. This is the Dual Metallic Hybrid by Pentel. Let's see how that looks. If it looks any different at all. I don't know if it will look any different. So far it looks the same.
Coloring Queen says that's pretty.
Thank you. Okay, I think I got all the dots with the gold. Oh, I missed one right there. And I think the button in the middle needs to be gold too. And then I think we better put some gold dots on this part. Speckles! What else are these called? Stipples! Lots of stipples. Extra stipples in the middle to increase that shading look. Stipple, 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 stipple. Okay. Now we got these stars. I'm thinking the blue Pentel Sparkle Pop. Don't you think, Steve?
Ooh, yeah.
For the stars. Okay. We'll just quickly color these in, and then we got to move it in the line. I really wish Pentel would come out with more colors. Maybe we all need to storm the castle and demand more Pentel Sparkle Pop colors. We're not leaving until we get more colors. What colors would we want, though?
Every color.
Yeah. Okay. Almost there. What do you think for the handle, Steve? Gold or blue?
Gold.
That's what I was thinking.
Sparkly gold.
Okay. I want a pinwheel like this. Okay, sparkle gold. Here we go. Down the handle. There it is. One pinwheel. Let's move it in the light so we can all... Ooh, bling bling. Look at that. That was fun. Okay, let's do another one. Let's try. I've been wanting to try where you color down some colors with water-soluble pencils, and then you go psh, 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 psh with this, and then it does like you can't predict what it's going to do. You have to be ready and willing to accept whatever it does.
The chaos.
The chaos. That's what I've been wanting to try. And we're on watercolor paper, so it's perfect time to try this. So let's put away our Crayolas and let's bring up the Inktense for this one.
Yes.
Okay, Crayollas, thank you. You served us well. I must say, they did well.
Yeah, that's great when an inexpensive tool works good.
Yeah, we like that. We like it a lot. What's that from?
You did a Dumb and Dumber
That's
quote.
Dumber and Dumber.
Yes.
The only reason I know that is because you quote it all the time. I have never sat through that movie because I am physically unable to sit through that movie. It just is so cringy to me. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I quoted that movie. Is your life complete now that you've gotten me to quote that movie? Okay, what colors? Let's see. Let's just grab a color. We gotta have something that we can see when we hit it with the spritzer. So maybe like, I don't know what color that's gonna be, and I don't know, and yeah, I don't know. How about that one? Okay. You don't approve? Let's see.
I don't know. Are they going to be too boring?
We're going to do the same kind of idea as far as darken the here, and we're going to leave the triangles for some bling. Huh. I guess we'll go blue in the middle. That will be interesting. Okay, I'm trying to light pressure. This is what I'm talking about. This paper has texture. It's a watercolor paper. So I don't want to hurt the texture of the paper. So I'm doing really light pressure here. Okay, so let's go again. So I did the darkest color in here, light pressure. Now this definitely isn't going to activate all of it, our spritzing. So this will be very interesting. I'll tell you what colors I'm using here in case this turns out like the most amazing thing ever and you all want to recreate it. I grabbed dark aquamarine 1210, carmine pink 0520, and crimson 0530. I have no idea what I've gotten myself into. Let's just find out. Okay. Like that. Like that.
Anna likes the idea of pink sparkle pop triangles.
Ooh, I like that too. Okay. Are we ready to activate?
Yes, we are.
Okay, let me swing this around. I want to kind of protect that one, so we're going to lay a piece of paper on top somehow. That's not going to work. This just had glycerin from last night's workshop in it. So there. Perfect. Okay, here we go. Good luck, little pinwheel. We believe in you. Maybe I need to do the inside. No, we're going to do a sparkle. Okay, here we go. Ooh, it's starting to move. More water. Ooh, we could put salt on it. Should we try salt too? We're definitely doing salt. Ooh, ooh, it's moving. Okay. Okay, we're doing salt. Grab salt. Oh, careful.
Sorry.
Okay, this is just plain old. I think it's not actually real salt. I think we've got Himalayan pink salt from Costco in here, actually. And I'm going to sprinkle it onto our amazing piece. And the salt acts like it should with water and goes like that. Now, I don't know if I want this out here doing this. So I'm going to use my paper towel and lift some of that color away. Try to keep the color in our pinwheel. Okay. Now, if I was a patient person not doing a live YouTube event, we would let this sit and let the crystals do their magic. But I'm not a patient person and I am doing a live YouTube event. So we are going to use a heat tool. This is my new heat tool, thanks to Polly, brain freeze.
Speaking of Polly, she just donated.
Oh,
She says,
that was
"Thank you.
good timing.
Thank you all for helping us through this illness with Toba."
Oh, I hope Tobad's doing good. I've been praying for your sweet little doggy. And Polly donated this to us. It's such a nice gift because my other heat gun was such a pain. And we're going to use this heat gun. It's not like a blow dryer that goes psh, lots of air. It's more just like hot air. I don't know how to explain it. It's awesome. So we're going to use it to help speed up the drying process. And hopefully the salt will do its magic. I want to get some rock salt, some bigger crystalled salt for stuff like this. Now the problem with this is it's hot. Which it's supposed to be, because you can use this for embossing and doing all kinds of things. Now, I've never used salt with Inktense before, so I have no idea is it going to work or not. Has anybody ever tried this salt with Inktense before? We're gonna find out. When I hit it with the salt, it definitely reacted like it does with watercolor. But now I'm not seeing those cool spidery effects. I'm going to show you what I wanted it to do. Okay, let's let that cool for a second while I get you what I wanted it to do. Oh, I think it's right here.
Polly says she uses the Himalayan salt.
That's awesome.
And she says it works.
On the Inktense? Right here. This background right here, where'd it go? Disappeared. Right here. This one was done with the salt. See the cool effects you can get with the salt? Isn't that amazing? It's so fun. I did this whole background with watercolors, just a variety of greens. I think it was like 8 or 9 different greens, and I just had the water doing its thing. I was using my blending medium by Winsor Newton. Is that who makes that blending medium? Mm-hmm. There's a link to that blending medium in our Amazon shop. Got it all going and really juicy, and then I sprinkled the salt, and it did this cool effect for the background on this mandala, and I adore how this turned out. I just think it's so cool, and it needs bling and everything on it, and I just haven't had time. But yeah, that's what I was hoping we would get, but I don't think we're getting it. I don't know, maybe the Inktense doesn't do it. Let's try a little more heat. Go Inktense. Maybe using the heat gun makes it so it doesn't work. Anybody have experience with this? The heat gun is hot. The AC is probably going, what were you thinking?
Polly asked, are you going to paint over the salt background? On that one that you
I'm
showed?
going to probably do gel pens. That's my thinking, is gel pens in here. Blingy blingy. That's what I was imagining. Okay, this is definitely dry now. And yeah, we do not have any cool salt effects. But it did blend neat. Okay, now you need a trash can. Okay, 1 trash can. And you just brush off the salt.
Yeah, Robin's wondering if maybe the salt needs time to soak up the water, and it just didn't get enough time, and drying it may have stopped the reaction.
I think that's exactly what's happened. I think my impatience has... I see a little bit, but nothing like that other background. We'll have to try it again when I have more patience and more time. Okay. Thank you, trash can.
I'll zoom in.
And I think that the salt may have...
Yeah, you can't really tell by there.
Yeah. And now my hair is on here too. And I think that the salt may have hurt the toner, which it didn't here. That's interesting. Okay, we're learning. All right, let's add... I think the spraying worked though. Like it made the colors blend really pretty. I think my salt experiment is where we went astray.
Yeah.
Okay, so pink, is that what someone wanted me to try? Was pink Sparkle Pop?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's go pink Sparkle Pop on the top. The cool thing about gel pen ink, especially glitter ink, is it tends to be a little transparent. So whatever is under it is going to show through. So here it looks a little more purpley, over here much more bright pink. One pen, different effects. And up here it's going to look even more different because it's on the plain white. Sorry, my hand's in the way.
Yeah, Polly agrees. Salt needs time to react with the water and the paint. Oh. You learn.
Sometimes you have to have patience? What? So metallic gel pens tend to be more opaque. And glitter gel pens tend to be more translucent. So if you want to take advantage of this type of effect that I'm doing right here, where you get this one pen getting different looks, then you want to reach for a more translucent gel pen. A good way to test to see if you've got a translucent versus an opaque gel pen would be to swatch your gel pens on black paper. And you'll learn a lot about your gel pens really fast doing it that way. Okay, what about the blue, Steve? What should we do over the blue?
Well, somebody earlier, I think it was Tika, said maybe silver.
Ooh, I like that. I've got salt everywhere now. Okay.
Coloring Queen says, Jen, you helped me in my mistakes I made in coloring.
Oh, I think that I like just experimenting. Sometimes you need to just throw salt on something and see what happens. And just have fun. Oh, I like this. The silver was a good suggestion. Okay, now we've got another pinwheel here. So let's try another kind of pencil. So we can try the Faber-Castell Albert Dürer, I'm sorry, the Faber-Castell ones, or we could do the Graphitint. Which ones? Those are the two. I want you guys to comment in the comments which ones, and Steve will read and decide.
Holly asked, do all gel pens work on black paper?
Let me show you. I did some swatching the other day. My black, this is my black Canson drawing pad that I recently purchased. And when my niece was over, my itty bitty 3-year-old niece, I had her help me swatch. See? This was her help.
Oh, so cute.
So these are the Sakura jelly roll. Remember, I got that big set of jelly rolls for my birthday, and I wanted to go through and see which ones would perform well on black. So this is what I'm talking about, swatching them on black to see what they will do. You can see some just kind of the glitter ones. These are all the glitter ones. You can tell right away how translucent they are because the black is just, they're not showing up very well. But these are the Moonlight, very opaque, and they really pop on the blacks. And then the metallics are doing like the metallic paints, like we discovered when we were doing the the Paul Rubin video. They have a lot of silver undertones or gold undertones, and when you move them in the light, you lose the color, but you're getting that silver or that gold flashing back in your face. And then over here, these ones, which ones were these? The 536s. 524. Yeah, these are the metallic. I think these are the gold shadow and the silver shadows. I think that's what these were. So you lost all the color. These are all different colors, and all you get is the gold flashing back in your face. And then these are the metallics, which did pretty good. So that's why I suggest you swatch them really quick on black and see, because you'll learn really quick what they do. And then you can take advantage of it. See, I took the Moonlights and did some really fun artwork. Because I was like, wow.
Looks so pretty.
I know, it turned out really good. I've been goofing around in here with different pens just to experiment and have fun with their effects on the black paper. So this has been a really fun, inspiring notepad. And yeah, the Moonlight gel pens just have fun. So do the Milky Pop pens. They do the same thing. They're very opaque and they look beautiful on the black paper too. Okay. All right.
All right. So the very first one that came in was Margie requesting the Albrecht Dürer.
Okay.
And then Adriana requested Graphitints on the bucket.
Okay, I like that. So
and
Margie.
that's kind of equal from there. So.
Okay, so Margie, let's do the Albricks on one of the pinwheels, and then I like the idea of the Graphitint onto the bucket. I think Steve was thinking that too, so I think we got lots of people like that idea. And these are the colors that Steve picked out for me with the Faber-Castells. So we got a light, medium, and dark in red violets and in greens. And they still have the stickers on them. Okay.
Holly asked, will the gold and silver shadows show color on white paper?
Yeah. Yep. They do. Okay. Now, let's do this pinwheel here. I forgot to do the stem on this one here. Let's just do that really quick. Here we go. Okay. Can't leave that stem undone. Okay, let's see. Should we do green on the inside and red violet on the outside? Okay.
Sure.
Sounds good to me. Let's trying to think how we can do this a little bit differently. What's another way to use these? I've shown you how you can touch the tip with a brush. I want to try the spritz again. Let's try the spritz again with no salt craziness this time. So I think we're going to have to activate it with the spritz before we lay down the red violet.
Do you remember if you put the Canson black paper in our store?
I did.
What was it under? Do you remember which topic?
It might be in the paper.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense.
Okay, this is the mid-tone green. These ones lay down really interesting. They feel similar to a Polychromos pencil. They lay down really nice. I like the feel of these. Does anyone else own these ones? Do you have the same experience with them? Like, they just feel nice. I guess I'm not, when I color with these types of pencils, I'm not really thinking about how they feel. It's more about how they activate and color quality and all that. But these ones feel really nice. Okay, and they blended. I mean, you could just stop there and be done. They're just really pretty. How expensive were these? Now I'm having a little FSS here.
Oh.
I'm wanting more. Seems like they were pricey too. Okay, I'm going to try spraying this again. This is all salty now. I'm going to have to do art dishes when we're done. Okay. I've got everything blocked off so these guys won't get wet. And let's see how these activate.
Okay.
Ooh, there it goes. It's starting to move. Okay, don't touch it, Jennifer. Now, I am going to lift where the water is taking the green where I don't want it to go. And this is the advantage of being on watercolor paper. I don't want it in there. Okay, we'll just let it sit here. Okay, now I'm curious because the paper is wet. What will my coloring experience be if I start coloring onto wet paper here? What? Oh, that's green. I was like, that's a magical pencil. It's coloring green. It's because it grabbed some of the green paint. It was kind of a trippy experience. I feel like we need more dark. This is very different coloring on wet paper. I don't know if I would recommend this. Okay. It feels like the tip just sort of melts as it hits the wet paper. But it also feels like the paper is really delicate. Oh! Green attack. That's really interesting. She says she doesn't like it, but she just keeps on going. Whoa. Whoa, that was a big puddle of water right there, and look how deep that color got. Whoa. Oh, whoa. 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 Well, that's interesting. Okay, it's much more satisfying when there's a lot of water. When there's just a little water, it's like... But when there's a lot of water, look at that. Ooh. Well, that was fun. When there was a lot of water puddled right there. Look at that. It went all...
that's really pretty.
I'm really curious to see how it's going to dry. We got to kind of just let this sit and dry right there. Don't touch it, Jennifer. Don't do anything to it. Let's see. Let's use the light pink and color the center, and we're just going to let that sit. Okay. I'm going to try to be a good patient artist and let that sit. Okay, while that's sitting, we're going to work on the Graphitint down here on the bucket. There's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza. Okay, these are the Derwent Graphitint, and I have to keep my box taped shut because it doesn't stay shut on its own. Okay. This is the way they look. Such a cool pencil. And just like the other ones, they have the little paintbrush right there to indicate that it's water soluble, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so we got all kinds of colors here. But if you decide you want to try the Graphitint, remember that these are tints. A tint is they're a tone. It should be graphitones. Huh.
Oh yeah.
A tone is when you take a color and you add gray to it. And so these are very toned down colors. So you're not going to get a bright poppy yellow or a really crisp like red apple red. They're all going to be colors that have gray mixed in because it has graphite mixed into these colors. I think the base carrier of this product is graphite, and then they mix in the color. So that's what Graphitint pencils are. And I think they call it Graphitint because it's graphite that's tinted. But technically a tone is a color plus gray. So they should have called it Graphitone.
Ooh. Yes.
Okay, so let's play with the bucket. What color should our bucket be, Steve?
Well, I was originally thinking silver with that, but that's kind of boring.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it.
We could have a greenish.
I kind of always, for some reason, a metal
Bluish.
bucket, I picture red for some reason.
Reddish. We've got a couple reds. This is more of a rusty red. This is more of a, they call it port. Do we need to swatch? I have my swatches. I don't know where they went. Are they? They're right behind you, Steve. Will you hand me the swatches? That swatch book is all the Graphitints.
Ooh, I love Graphitint colors.
Okay, so this is what they all look like. You can see now what I'm talking about. There's no poppy sunshine yellow. These are sort of their yellows right here. This meadow, and it's more of a green, but you get what I mean. It's all these colors are very grayed out. So Steve, we've got autumn brown.
Oh man, I love that meadow.
You want my bucket to be meadow?
That's just a really nice color. But I really like that autumn brown too.
An autumn brown bucket with cocoa shading.
What do you think?
Warm gray shading, maybe.
What's inspiring you, Jennifer?
I don't know. Autumn brown. Let's do
or
autumn brown.
silver, Tika said, or silver, but add some rust with a copper and maybe some green.
Last time we attempted rust, it was hilarious. We tried rust with our partners during a workshop, and it was quite a hilarious event. We could try it. We've got this warm gray. We could do a wash of warm gray and then add like the autumn brown. Hints of the autumn brown. Or we could just go full on bucket.
Yeah, or you could do, they also recommended copper with some green, or you could do blue patina, blue or green patina.
Oh my goodness, there's so much we could do.
Yeah.
I want to do it all.
I know.
I want 20 buckets so I can do all 20 colors. Well, there's 24.
Yeah.
Okay, which one is this? 17. I keep coming back to this pencil, so I guess it's that one. And then let's bring up a warm gray, number 19, so we can add some gray to it in case I feel like it doesn't have enough. And let's also bring up Russet, 14. That's 15, 14 right here. Okay.
Tika said print out 24 pages.
Be a lot of pinwheels to color. Speaking of pinwheels, let's take a peek at our very wet pinwheel. See how it's doing here. It's not dry yet. There's still a very wet sheen to it, but it's doing good.
That looks cool.
Okay, we're going to let it keep drying. Okay, little bucket. Let's see what we can do with you. We're going to start. We're going to kind of hit the silver in the middle. I'm going to kind of think of the silver as the highlight. So I want this to feel like it's moving forward. Okay. Start like that. And then here's the color of the bucket. Autumn brown, number 17. Mix that in. So I'm going to lay down some of these colors and then we're going to activate them, and then we can come back and lay more down to take advantage of that graphite sheen that I was showing you that it has when it's dry. But you have to let your first wash dry completely before you come back with that second if you want to catch that shine. Whoa, that needs some sharpening. That is a sad state. Okay, Carl, be kind. 3, 4, 5, 6. Not too bad. A little bitey. Okay, I'm calling this my shadow color, the darkest. So I want the shadow under the lip. And we want the bucket to look like it's curling back. So we'll put shadow back here. It's hard because these are going to totally change when the water hits it. So you have to sort of imagination here. Okay. Let's do a little bit more of our autumn brown, right? Yep, autumn brown. A little in here, a little in there. Okay. And back with our warm gray. I picked warm gray, not cool gray, because the colors I picked are all warm colors. So the warm gray should go well. All work together. Okay, let's see how we did. I'm going to pick a bigger brush now because we're working in a bigger area. This is a teeny, teeny little baby brush compared to the area we're working in. So let's bring up my set here and see what feels about right. I think that one looks good. This is my number 4 round. I feel so fancy that I have multiple ones now.
Yeah, you are fancy.
Okay. I don't want it too wet. Let's see. Let's start right here. Embrace whatever happens, Jennifer. Kind of keep my strokes consistent. Whoa. That looks like a totally different bucket right there.
Yeah. Wow.
That's because that's the brown and I didn't put any of the autumn brown in there. There, now that fits. But it's totally different. Okay, we have some work to do.
So before you hit the other side, do you want to...
Well, I think it's because it was isolated.
You couldn't get a blend?
Yeah. Like here I'm mix, blending, you know?
Yeah.
Mix, blend. It's that brown is not acting as a dark for me like I thought it would. That's what's the surprise here.
Donna asked, could you use your mixed media paper with this technique?
Yep. The mixed media paper doesn't have sizing, but the mixed media paper is nice and thick, so it can handle a little bit of water abuse. What you're going to find is as soon as you hit water on it, remember those fibers are going to just act like a sponge and just, so it's going to be a little harder. I have the sizing on my side that's keeping things floating and letting me do a little bit more blending and that kind of thing, so it's helping me, but you can still do it for sure on the mixed media. Just be ready for a little bit more of that problem of it being more like a sponge. Okay, now we gotta let it dry. And then we can come in and add some more of the solid color and get that shine from the graphitint that we want. Let's come back and check this pinwheel now and see. It's still not dry. You see it's still wet in the green from where we sprayed it. So we're gonna let it sit. Okay, very good. What haven't we tried? It's 8 o'clock. Okay, no more patience. Here comes the heat gun. I am live.
Donna asked, would vellum be good?
Vellum, everything floats on vellum. Vellum's basically plastic. At least that's been my experience with vellum.
She's talking about vellum paper.
Yeah.
The texture.
Oh! Well, isn't there plasticky paper too, though, that's vellum?
I don't know.
No, I'm really confused. Okay, so Steve is talking about the texture vellum. So that's more like what we use for color pencil paper, right? And that should work too. Yeah, it's just going to be the same issue. It'll be like a sponge.
Typically the colored pencil paper isn't as heavy as the mixed media.
Right, that's
as well,
true.
so it may not be as forgiving. But Aspie asks, can you apply the water with a sponge or foam pad?
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's lots of ways you could try it. Okay, let's see if we can. I kind of like this watercolor effect we're getting down here. And that's still really wet up there. We may have to just lift some of that extra water out so it'll start drying faster. Okay, let's see if we can bring in some shine. Gotta get it in here. Now I think, I'm wondering if this will be our, I'm gonna follow the lines that the illustration has. Come down the side and sort of buff it out. Buff, buff, buff. Add some more of those lines like the illustration has. Buff, buff, buff. Okay, same over here. Come under the lip with the shadow and buff, buff, buff. Hard to get it into the texture of the paper, but we can just, at this point, because we do want the shine of the graphite, I can do a little bit of a burnishing here. And then I want more of those lines. Okay. I'll do the same thing over here in that weird spot. Back in there. Buff, buff, buff. Ooh, I like that. It kind of feels like a rustic. Okay, now we're going to bring in that pretty autumn brown. Where do I want the shine? Maybe over here. I want to let that underside show through, but I'm liking the texture too. I'm liking it all. Ooh, I like that too, mixing the red into it. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, more, please. These always feel very, these pencils, they feel very slippery because of the graphite. They have a slippery feel to them when you're coloring and layering like this. Very different from other pencils. They're different. Go figure. Okay. Ooh, I like that bucket. Okay, let's add some of the gray too. Do we like the gray? Yeah. Making it feel even more vintagey. Ooh. Ooh, I like that. Let's make this be gray. And I'm gonna just lean in and make this edge a shiny silver. Lean in, really burnish it in so it has that graphite shine. Ooh, I like it. Go ahead and just lay a ton of this in. Like that. Okay. Ooh.
Mary likes how the texture looks rough on the bucket.
Yeah. It's looking very vintage. I like that. It needs like a bright blue streamer right in front, don't you think? It needs to be a bright blue. So I grabbed my blue Derwent Inktense, and we're going to activate it really quick because I feel like it needs like this bright moment right in front.
Polly asked if the shine remains after it's activated.
No, because the graphite sort of washes away when it gets activated. So that's why you come back, and after you've activated it, you let it dry, and then you come back and you do the burnishing and the buffing and all that, and that lays a layer of the graphite back on, and then you get that shine that you wanted. Okay, let's activate this little blue streamer. There you can see the power of the Inktense, the strength of that color. Look at that blue. Oh my goodness. That is some strong color. Wow. Okay, and then we'd want to darken up the loops or lighten the loops. Let's see if we can lighten them. If we use...
Susan says, love the bucket. The bucket really looks antique now.
Turned out good, thank you. I'm going to use white Inktense to brighten up the top of the loop. So it looks all 3D and loopy. And I've got stuff going everywhere.
Oh, that's pretty.
So Inktense also comes in blocks. You can either get it in pencil form or in blocks. It's up to you how you want to get it. Okay, there's your cool bucket. Didn't turn out red.
No,
Very.
that's nice.
That's
Okay.
way more rust looking than
Do
when we
take some
were.
of the white Inktense and go over the rim of the bucket too. Kind of like.
Well, we were gonna move it in the light and see if we could see the.
Oh yeah.
You can see the graphite catching the light, the shine of the graphite.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yep. You wanted me to lighten up the rim? Is that what you wanted me to
Well,
do?
just like you know how like typically on a round rim you'd have a sliver of white.
I don't think this isn't the tool for that.
Oh.
You'd want to use a paint pen because the graphite. Think about graphite. When you lay down and do a burnishing level of graphite, it's slick.
Oh yeah.
And so to try to do a pencil like that on top of a slick, it's like going to be impossible.
Yeah.
So we can try to get paint on top of it. Now we shall see how steady Jennifer's hand is after 2 hours of sitting here. How steady. So this is the white Posca paint pen. You guys know I've abandoned all white gel pens. Abandoned them all. And we are now, Posca paint pen is my go-to. Okay, gotta let my eyes focus here for a second. Okay, let's see if we can do Steve's vision. Do you want just like a little...
Yeah, just something like that. Yeah. Like it's picking up a highlight or something. You know? A specular highlight.
I found that note the other day, the specular highlight note. There, how's that? Is that specular enough?
Yeah.
More little dots? I always get carried away with highlights. Okay, is this dry? Because we could do highlights up here to make this look shiny. Like that.
Oh yeah.
And same up here if it's not too salty. We could do highlights on here. And in here. Uh-oh. Didn't like that salt. There. Ah.
Salt mess it up.
Yeah, that's alright. We'll get it going again. Well, yep, there we go. There we go. Salt. Okay. Ooh, and this guy too.
Oh yeah.
There.
Cool.
Partially colored. 3 pinwheels, a swirl, and a bucket. Pretty
Very
cool.
pretty.
So hopefully you learned some ways to use your water-soluble pencils. There's lots of different ways to apply water-soluble pencils to your projects. For instance, you could do an alcohol marker base layer and then come onto it with your water-soluble pencils. Like we did with the bucket, you can do a wash with the water-soluble pencils and then come back with the very same pencils to deepen them up and give the shadows. You can take the pencil and touch it with a normal watercolor brush or a water brush and apply the color that way. You can also, which is really fun, take a wet brush and get a whole bunch of color on a wet floppy brush like this and do your spritzes at the end like this and get your little color spritzes all over your work at the end, so you don't even have to get out your paint to get your fun little accents of color at the end. So they're very versatile. I think they're well worth an investment to get some in your arsenal of supplies, so you can have them around and try them and play with them. Look, see? Fun little colorful specks now on your
Better
artwork.
do the bling bling.
Yeah, because we've got sparkle pop bling and we've got graphite bling. We got all kinds of bling going on. Look at the
Oh,
sparkle
those are fun.
pop and the graphite making our rusty vintage bucket has a little bit of bling. Here, we'll come up here too so you can see it. So hopefully I've inspired you to, maybe you have a set of water-soluble pencils and you haven't been using them. Well, now you can pull them out and try them and play with them. So they're a really fun mixed media product too. Mix them in with some other products and enjoy them. I really like that shine of graphite on there. That's really cool. Really fun. Well, I hope you guys are having a good summer where you're at. If you're on the other side of the earth, hopefully you're having a good winter. So I wish I was with you. I'm done with summer. I want to come to winter. I love winter. So anyway, I hope you had a good time. We've got one more week in watercolor, World Watercolor Month, and I have a couple more videos that I'm really excited about putting out. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, have your notifications on, because I have a couple more videos that I really want to get out to you about watercolor. For instance, gouache. We still haven't talked about gouache, and it's a really neat art supply that I think that you guys are going to be excited about. And there's several other products that we haven't had time to talk about yet with watercolor, like the water-soluble crayons. So we have more to talk about. Is 1 month enough of watercolor? I don't know, but we're sure going to try to fit it all in. So thank you for joining us. Is there any last minute questions that I can address?
Nope, I don't think so.
Thanks again to those people who donated to our channel during this live event. Your monetary donations really do make a huge difference to our channel, and we really do appreciate that. Don't forget to check the links in the video description to get you to the Book a Day giveaway and to our Amazon shop, where you can see a whole bunch of these types of products there waiting for you to learn about them there. So thanks again for all your support. I hope you had a good time tonight, and I hope you have a wonderful, colorful, blissful day. Bye-bye, everyone.